Hello and welcome back to Cardboard Decoy Plays Kerbal Space Program. Now I've got a couple goofy ideas. Number one, we could still get a lot of research just from doing EVAs over the surface of the moon. So what I want to do is create a craft that can dock and refuel at our space station that we have, which also would entail that maybe we should get some fuel up into space. So what I'm going to do is we are going to load Science E command module. Okay, load. So there we go. Here's our starter craft. I'm trying to think what are some things that we could do to make this a little bit safer for everybody involved. I'm wondering. You know what? Let's add some things. I think it's time. Let's go through utility. Can we do big huge honking parachute on here anywhere? No, not really. Okay, is it not gonna let me do it? It's not going to let me add it to the sides. I can only add it to like the top and bottom of things, which is maybe just a tiny bit annoying. Maybe we should add some more of these. There we go. Let's do that. Whatever. It's just a science thing. It'll work. Oh, I forgot to take temperatures while I was up there too. Dang it. I always forget about those. They're just so small. Okay, so we added some more parachutes. Hopefully that will be enough to make us land a little bit better. Let's go ahead and add these feet too. Why not? Let's see. There we go. That'll give us a little bit of a spring in our step, and I'm cool with that. Yeah. Alright, so let's save that really quick. Save. Alright, now, what do we want to do? We want to put some fuel on our space station. Now, what's the best way to go about doing that is a really, really good question, actually. The problem is that there's not a really good way to add a whole bunch of fuel, just like with the big tanks, especially. It just doesn't quite work that way, side by side. So, like, I can't do that necessarily because that just overlaps too bad. So what we're going to have to do is just stick with the smaller tanks. So, and that should be okay, I guess. 1, 2. Alright. We're not going to go through the whole launching process. I'm basically just going to design a bunch of ships for how I'm going to play the game over the next couple of episodes. That's kind of the plan, at least. So, yeah, if we do that, how much mass is that? That is amount, liquid fuel, let's see, mass 1.8, mass 4.5 versus mass 36. Okay, so again, we're dealing with these really long kind of unbalancey sort of things, so that makes me kind of nervous. Maybe not as nervous as I could be, so let's go ahead and what I'm going to do is go totally insane. Okay, like that. No, stop it. There we go. Hey, now we can add 4. Sweet. So, in order to equal one of these, which I guess I could, is that going to be... Huh. Okay, mass 36, mass 4.5, so basically if I add 2 rows of this, and then that will be 360 times 8, so 360 times 8 is 860, 24, this is a very rough estimate. That actually comes out to be more fuel, I think, for the same weight, so why the hell not? Okay, yeah, you know what, you want to play this way? We're going to play this way. Let's just do 2 and 2. Okay, and this will be a fuel pod, and then we'll redo. This is all like, if you're reading this and like screaming silently at my idiocy, then I applaud you for your endurance. Let's see. Ooh, there we go. Is that attached to both, please? Could you please? No. Oh, hold on. Let me try that. There we go. I bet that works. Is that attached to everything? I hope it is. Let's hope. Let's see. Structural. And then we want a docking pod. Like so. Okay. Cool. And then that'll attach to our space station. I need to actually come up with some controls for it. So let me do that really quick. Let's see. Controls. Will it let me do 4? No, it's just going to let me do 2. Okay. Let's do like that, and that's going to go on either side there. And then like that. And like so. Maybe not the greatest. But hey, let's see. And okay, like that. There we go. That's some basic control there, and then we'll add some tanks like this. We shouldn't need that many. Yeah, that'll work. There's just tons of RCS. I'm a little RCS paranoid, baby, so don't mind me. Let's go control. No, pods. Let me stick you right here. Can we do something that maybe cleans this up a little bit? There we go. Pods. Control. Okay, cool. Cool. And then some batteries, just because we will eventually run out of power, and that will just be embarrassing. Okay, and then these, I believe, yeah, these actually do, no, mass drag. They say mass and drag, but they don't really cause any ill effects that I've ever seen, so we'll just do that. Screw it, that's a ton of power. Whatever, I'm not playing with a budget, and this is why. It's like, the guilt starts to set in after a point, I'll admit, where it's just sort of like, you know, you should try to be, like, better at this game, and I'm like, screw you, I just want to put stuff in space, man. Why you gotta hate? Okay. That, structural. It's gonna bug me if I don't do this. Okay, and then structural, aerodynamic, utility. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. So, there are our fuel pods, and then, hopefully, now the fingers crossed bit is seeing if we can actually get this into space. So, again, this is just sort of the design episode, so we might fly a couple missions on the next couple of episodes to try to see if any of these actually work. So let's do sub-assembly, space station transport rocket. Alright, and whoa, there we go. Okay, cool. So, and now we need to attach some of these. How many are going to attach? Just 4? That's probably okay. If I had to guess. There we go. Let's take those off. And then we will zoom out to make sure... Nope, that's not enough clearance. We're going to lift this up a little bit. I really need to get a mod with payload shrouds eventually. Okay, now this is 8 medium fuel launcher. Okay, cool. So there we go. We'll be able to refuel if we get a little bit paranoid, and we can stick a couple of these on our station and hopefully not just totally throw it off balance or do something terrible to it. So, but yeah, okay, so let's save that, and then we'll go new. And then load. We are going to load Sciencey Command Space Module again. Although we'll probably come up with a new command module since most of the science that we're doing is not necessary at this point. Okay, so the next thing we want to make is a ship that will attach and be able to refuel with our fueling pods that we went through the trouble of actually putting together there, and be able to basically cruise around the moon at different orbital velocities and things like that at relatively easy speeds, and we can basically just sit on the hood and get EVA reports constantly for it. So what's going to require is, let's see, we want propulsion, and, or well, let's see. Okay, let's do docking port first before I forget. Alright. Oh, no. Attach. Why won't you? You'll always do this. Why do you? No, you'll attach like that, okay. But not like that. Okay, let's try this again. You jerk. Alright, will you attach without feet there? Yes. Okay, so the feet are the problem. We're gonna have to double check on my other ship there to make sure that didn't continue to be a point of issue with it. Alright, so there we go. There's our start, and then what we're going to do is create one of these. It's going to detach that way. Yes. Okay, so it's going to detach off of that. Yeah, no, that's what we want. Okay, cool. Good. And then we'll just need some small engines to build off of here. So we'll just do like this. Okay, perfect. And then, yes, something to be able to actually cruise around on. That's fine. That works out really well. Do we want 3 engines, or how about just 2? There we go. We'll do 2 engines on this. Extremely phallic. What can I say? And we don't need like a crazy amount of thrust from these. Oh, you know what? Let's just do... This is definitely going to be a test module. So let's do it like this. And then a very simple pods, crew capacity 1. And let's see, a nose cone. Do we want a nose cone? Let's see. This is, again, just for EVA reports, since we have all the science we can from, like, near moon orbit and everything like that. As far as I know. Huh. I think there's a way to check what you have and have not researched yet, but I can't remember at the moment. So this is probably going to provide a pretty decent amount of torque. I'm just wondering if we need to put RCS on there. Let's see. 10, 10... 5. Yeah, that's going to be enough torque to move around and all of that stuff. But we will continue needing docking ports. So let's do... Oh, you know what? We will need RCS just so we can dock. Okay, okay. That's cool. I'm cool with that. Propulsion. Okay, and then we will do... Once this thing runs out of RCS, that's going to be a big problem. But hopefully we won't encounter that for a very long time with it, just to be safe though. Yeah, let's do 6. There we go. So it docks and then it separates, and then we can cruise it around and all that other fun stuff. Monopropellant. I'm trying to see if there's some kind of indication on these. No, this actually uses fuel with it, so we don't want that. Okay, we'll just do this. We just need 4. All right. This is our lunar cruiser again. So basically the whole point of it is it's going to be able to fly around the moon, and yeah, we sit on the hood and act all cool about it, and you know, Bob's your uncle. We explore the moon that way. So let's go ahead and we'll save that as well. Let's go sub-assemblies. Is that going to select everything? Yes. Okay, cool. So we will sub-assembly, and this is a orbital cruiser. What would the orbital version of like a dune buggy be? Would it be orbital buggy? Would it be a orbital dune buggy? No, that would actually require wheels. I'm thinking about this. Orbital cruiser, speedboat. Yeah, we'll stick with cruiser for now. We'll dub it something cool later on. Okay, save, and then orbital cruiser. Blam. All right, cool. That's our payload. We want to attach that to our space station. So that it can hang on there. Yeah, I kind of like that. There's got to be a way to refuel monopropellant too. If there's a way to do that, then that's going to be really good, because then we can just transfer from one tank to another and basically bring a huge monopropellant tank or series of tanks up to the, let's see, space station, transport rockets. Whoop, there we go. And we're not clearing the ground, which is bad. Let's grab you right there. And I'm really tempted, like, is this cheating if I just, like... Here we go. We're this much closer to the sky now. It gives me a leg up by, you know, a couple 100 meters maybe. Maybe I shouldn't do that. That's probably a bad idea. Whoa, let's... Okay. Push this down, and we'll call this the cruiser delivery rocket. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Do we have anybody manning it? No, we don't need anybody manning it. So, yes. Mark 1, 2 command pod. We need more crew people. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save this. I'm going to look at a couple things really quick. Let's exit. How much time do we have left? We got like 6 minutes or whatever. Yeah, let's poke around. I want to see if I can actually see what science I've researched so far. Science archives. Yeah, here we go. Crew report from Minmus's lowlands, Min's highlands. Is this how much science we've gotten for each one? Or total? Ah, here we go. Yeah. EVA report from the space just above Minmus's slopes. Crew reports. Yeah, okay. From Minmus's lowlands. Flying over Kerbin shores. Space high over Kerbin. Space high over the moon. Space near Kerbin. Space near Minmus. Space near the moon. Okay. So, EVA reports. East canyons. Oh ho, I see. Above Kerbin's grasslands, highlands, shores, water, lowlands, deserts. Yes. Okay, so from the moon's canyons, east crater, east far side, highlands, midlands. Hold on, I'm gonna do something daring here and bring up my cheat sheet. Super daring guy that I am. Let's. I think XSplit is keeping up with me. I'm gonna do a quick little checklist here of what I've got and what I don't have. So EVA from space just above the moon's canyons. That's Minmus. Okay, so we've got canyons. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's 15 biomes in the moon, and we have gotten 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, just 6. Okay, so we've only gotten 6, so that's a whole bunch more that we can actually get, and that'll probably be a ton of science, because as you can see, it's 24 each. And if we can get another 9, that's going to be worth like 180, and we might be able to get our nuclear rockets, which is going to be huge, because then we can start modifying things so that we can do basically what we just did here on the moon over at Minmus, and then be able to go interplanetary after that. So yeah, this is from the ground, so EVA reports from these places. Yeah, let's see. Flying over Kerbin's Mountains, space high over... Whoa, flying over Kerbin's Mountains, huh? Oh, that was... I was just on the pod and not touching the ground. So, yeah, I'm cool like that. EV report, space high over the moon. Okay. And then, yeah, Minmus stuff. Alright, cool. So, let's... the sun, Kerbin, moon. Alright, crew report. Material study from the moon's highlands. So we can do materials from the ground. Material study while in space near the moon. We've gotten that from the moon's highlands. While in the space near the moon. Okay, situations. Surf landed. Okay, in space low. Temperature scan while in space near the moon. In space high, so we can still do temperature scans. Aha! This is all the stuff. This is all the stuff that I wanted. Okay, in space low. EVA. Space. Okay, so we don't get the biomes from the different things while we're in space, but if we're on the ground, material study from the moon's highlands. Okay, so we'll have to land a whole bunch of pods basically and try to get science that way as well. From the moon's highlands. Okay. Yeah. So we've gotten all of that stuff, and we'll have to come up with a reusable lander that we can pick all of this stuff up with, and then take it back to the station and send it back. All right, I've got a plan. I've got a little bit of a plan in mind to start doing some serious science grinding, and we'll go through that process a little bit until we get some real science banged out, and then we'll do basically the same thing over at Minmus, which is worth pretty much double. It looks like, at least. Yeah. Let's see, what is that? Material study while in space near the moon. That was the highest point. Surface sample from the moon is 120, so yeah, we can still, like, if that bar is not full, it means that we can still get diminishing returns from those samples. So, oh, I'm excited. I'm real excited. This is good stuff. Okay, cool. Well, this has been Cardboard Decoy. I think, hold on, what's my time look like? Yeah, you know what? This is just about the end, so... yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Cardboard Decoy playing Kerbal Space Program. If you have enjoyed, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time, where we will try to get some of this stuff off the ground and see what we can do with the moon. So yeah, until then, have fun.